Good morning, everyone. What an amazingly beautiful morning we have. It's a great space. We're so fortunate to be here in Garman Garden this morning. And let's give first a special welcome to the class of 2016. On behalf of the faculty and staff at Sidwell Friends School and the Board of Trustees, it's my honor to welcome you to this morning's commencement exercises. Today's soon-to-be alumni are, by any measure, an extraordinary class, one that has demonstrated excellence in academic, artistic, and athletic endeavors, that has contributed remarkable leadership to the school, that has performed countless and meaningful acts of service both inside and outside of the institution. We are proud of your accomplishments, no more so than your families, friends, parents, and guardians, who have provided tremendous support and inspiration during these years at Sidwell Friends. Their dedication merits a special salute, a recognition that when the graduates walk across the stage here in a few minutes, they do not walk alone. They have had much love and support. And in recognition of that support, I would like the students, I can only call you that for a few more minutes, to take a moment to applaud their parents and their families. And I want to offer my special thanks to all parents and guardians and family members for entrusting the care and the education of your children to Sidwell Friends School. It has been an honor, and it is one that we will cherish throughout our careers as educators. And it is an honor, indeed, to work in support of your children with an extraordinary faculty and staff. Each school year is truly a miracle. And the magic is made possible by teachers, coaches, and staff members who are deeply committed to intellectual pursuit and spiritual understanding. Today, we celebrate the work of the class of 2016, but please join me in expressing gratitude to those who day in and day out provide inspiration to our students. Friends, let's please applaud our faculty and staff with a special recognition to the Buildings and Grounds crew, which did so much work to make this space so beautiful today. Commencement's an emotional occasion, one that marks beginnings and ends, that evokes tremendous joy and often a few tears. And it's not only parents and students who are moved by the occasion. Teachers, too, often find themselves damp-eyed when they deliver their last lectures. This is a tradition that's at least as old as the Iliad. Those of you who study this epic poem might remember the impassioned, teary lessons that Phoenix taught Achilles, encouraging his students to live according to his principles. Phoenix implored Achilles to be both a speaker of words and a doer of deeds, a leader who would align values with action. Phoenix's wisdom, which bears remarkable similarity to the Quaker advice to let one's life speak, remains especially relevant today. Sidwell Friends School has taught you that words, that ideas and ideals matter. But it has also taught you, it seems to me, or perhaps I should say I hope, that those words must provide the impetus for action. Think of how you responded to the Westboro Baptist Church, your willingness to raise questions about mental health, your determination on athletic fields, and your courage on the stage. Today's commencement speaker reminds us, more than anyone I know, that words matter. Poetry, she writes in one of her most remarkable verses, is the human voice. And that voice must always and forever ask, are we not of interest to each other? A simple question, a Quaker query, a refrain perhaps that closes one of her finest poems. Are we not of interest to each other? Her words teach us that as speakers of the human voice, we are morally bound to take interest in one another, to be deeply invested in one another. She knows well that language links thought to action, consciousness to culture, ideals to experience. Words that are filled with love and concern promote compassionate relationships and a more just society. Language that is filled with fear and hatred, with anxiety and anger. Language that suggests we should isolate ourselves from, rather than take more than a financial interest in one another. These words invariably shape actions that dehumanize, restrict basic rights and freedoms, and imperil the values we cherish the most. As you leave Sidwell Friends School, you enter into a complex moment in our nation's history. You will have important choices to make. Choices that will lead you and your country to travel along a particular arc. Do what your conscience tells you to bend that arc toward justice. To make decisions in the spirit that our poet-in-residence, upper school history teacher Hayes Davis, shared at his recent reading of his work. His advice: take time to notice the world every day. Be mindful and be aware. Notice what others say and do. Think about how your actions speak to what you value. Attune yourself to the tone and content of our public discourse. Listen for words that reverberate with arrogance, injustice, and intolerance. Be wary of words that reject reason, discourage dialogue, and resist intellectual engagement. Discern the empty promises of such words. Engage them with your heart and your mind, and be prepared to offer a counter-narrative based on the bold ideals of peace, integrity, community, and equality that you learn to value here. And above all, refuse to be indifferent. Live adventurously and courageously. As you leave today, know that we are proud of you, deeply proud of you. And we are proud of your accomplishments. But more important, we are hopeful about what you will say and what you will do in the years ahead. Congratulations, and thank you for all that you have done for Sidwell Friends School. We will miss you, and we hope that you will come back to visit us often. It's now my pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, the upper school principal, Mamadou Gueye. Mamadou, we are grateful for your leadership, for your intellect and your joyfulness, and we look forward to your words.
Working Together by David White. We shape ourselves to fit this world, and by the world are shaped again. The visible and the invisible working together in common cause to produce the miraculous. I am thinking of the way the intangible air passed at speed around shaped wing easily holds our weight. So may we, in this life, trust to those elements we have yet to see or imagine, and look for the true shape of our own self by forming it well to the great intangibles about us.
morning, class of 2016. I'm Margaret, the clerk of the Board of Trustees, and I'm happy to be here with you. Congratulations to you and to all those who are here to celebrate with you today. Your parents, who have supported you in every way from the miraculous moment you first entered their lives. And those parents who now take very justifiable pride in the uniquely wonderful adults you have become. Your siblings, who, if they're older, are smiling now to think how much wiser they are now today than they were when they sat where you are now sitting. Or, if younger, probably can't wait to take up the extra space you will leave. They don't realize yet how much they're going to miss you. Your grandparents, uncles, aunts, neighbors who've watched you grow with tender concern, your teachers, coaches, advisors, who have devoted themselves to ensuring that you, like so many Sidwell Friends graduates before you, are prepared to move into your promising futures, walking cheerfully over the earth and letting your lives speak. I have the great privilege today of introducing our graduation speaker, Professor Elizabeth Alexander, who herself once descended the stairs of Zartman House to sit where you now sit. I imagine that on that day she was feeling much of what you are feeling now. Pride in what she had accomplished, excitement over what was to come next, gratitude toward your teachers, and deep, deep love for your family and your friends. And maybe, just maybe, a little apprehension, reflecting a sentiment she later articulated in a poem for which she received some renown, that finding our way through life requires us bravely to walk into that which we cannot yet see. After graduating from Sidwell Friends in 1980, Professor Alexander earned a bachelor's degree from Yale University, a master's degree from Boston University, and a PhD in English from the University of Pennsylvania. She has had a distinguished academic career, including periods teaching undergraduates at the University of Chicago, teaching in the Graduate Creative Writing Program at NYU, and serving as the Grace Hazard Conkling Poet in Residence and Director of the Poetry Center at Smith College. She spent 15 years as a member of the faculty of Yale University, where she chaired the African American Studies Department. She was recently named the Woon Soon Tom Mellon Professor in the Humanities at Columbia University. Along the way, she has received many awards, fellowships, and honorary degrees, including the Anisfield Wolf Award for Lifetime Achievement in Poetry and the inaugural Jackson Poetry Prize. She's a Chancellor of the American Academy of Poets. In 2015, the Ford Foundation appointed Professor Alexander as Director of Creativity and Free Expression. In that role, she shapes and directs the Foundation's grant programs on arts, media, and culture. At the time of her appointment, Darren Walker, the president of the Ford Foundation, said, "Elizabeth's work demonstrates the power of language to connect individual experience with universal meaning, to build understanding among people, and to shape our world for the better. All you budding humanists, take note." Professor Alexander is an esteemed poet, essayist, and the author of a deeply moving memoir of her marriage called The Light of the World. She also made a memorable appearance on the Colbert Report, displaying uncommon grace and wit in response to his blustery opening query, "Poems aren't true, are they?" Professor Alexander more than held her own, and more than defended the honor of her craft, when she offered that a poem should be emotionally true and true to the language that it uses, the language that it has. Holding to that philosophy likely has led to the literary success she has achieved, and thinking about it, I think it's not bad counsel for most of what we undertake in life. Incidentally, Professor Alexander's appearance on the Colbert Report followed another, fairly memorable appearance, on which she read the poem from which I quoted earlier. Perhaps some of you were there. I was, and I'm happy that it is warmer today so that I may listen closely to her rather than think about how cold my feet are. The occasion, of course, was President Obama's first inauguration, at which she read a poem with a title uniquely suited both to that day and to this, Praise Song for the Day. Like most of Professor Alexander's work, the poem invoked history, art, race, struggle, and, beautifully, hope. It honored the spirit of the new administration, but can be read just as meaningfully to honor the spirit and excitement we all feel as you begin the next phase of your lives. As you walk into that which you cannot yet see, be guided by the metaphor Professor Alexander presented at the end of her poem, which I like to think may have arisen from her experience at Sidwell Friends School. Sing a praise song for walking forward in the light. Graduates, distinguished guests, Professor Elizabeth Alexander.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. You all are beautiful, and I'm very, very happy to be here today. Parents, teachers, graduates, we celebrate the class of 2016 on a late spring day in Washington, which is a thing of perfection, and I'm so glad that we have one today. And I'm especially glad to be here today because, as you've heard, this is where I went to high school. We had boy-girl. I like the girl-girl, boy-boy throuple thing. It's so much better to have all of the mixtures. It's much, much better. Boy-girl was very intense going down the stairs. So I came here in 8th grade. I was the only new kid in the class, and by the end of my time, I did have friends and a community for the rest of my life. This school was not the sum of me, and yet I am forever a part of it, as you will forever carry your piece, as the circle today makes powerfully clear. So I share some things with you graduates, like understanding, as I came to even more after I graduated, the power of meeting for worship, of letting your thoughts and feelings settle down and small insights come forward to be shared into community. And perhaps also with some of you, I share a memory of what it feels like when you cannot sit still or when inappropriate laughter threatens to bubble up and disrupt the quiet of those meetings. It happens sometimes. Somewhere here also, is there still a Spanish club? I have to ask. I was the democratically elected president of the Spanish club, and I wonder if, and my brother was my vice president. And the platform was churros for everyone, and it was very popular. But I don't think there's a Spanish club anymore, but there was. So I shared that with you, or I could have. And I had wonderful teachers. I think you always have to call the name of your teachers, the names of your teachers. I found out that none of them are still here today, but Lee McVaugh, Percy Martin, Paul Katzenbach, the great and legendary English teacher who lived to 100, and every time I sit down at the computer, I might think of, don't let witches haunt your style, witches, and I don't. And neither leisure foreigner sees the weird heights from the freight train, so if I can spell, it's because of my grandmother, it's because of Mr. Katzenbach. And Nurse Alice Queen, who always provided a space if we needed to just have a little rest in the middle of the day. If we just needed a break, we could always go into her office. All of those were adults who wished me well. All of those were adults who saw something in me that I did not see in myself, and so too those people are here for you as well. And it's important always to remember those people. I also have two classmates here who have children graduating, Peter Hutt and Stuart Irvin. So I just have to say that. So I want to tell you all of the graduation day things very quickly and in a nutshell. The very most important things in list form that I can tell you to take away. I want you to speak at least one other language for your whole life. It will open you up to a world of experience and understanding. I want you to pick up after yourselves. I want you to always have salad with dinner. I really do. Always have salad with dinner. I want to tell you that sometimes feelings are facts. Feelings are facts, people. Don't neglect all the information that is contained in what you feel. I want you to stay athletic because ultimately you're going to have to figure out how to exercise every single day for the rest of your life. I want to tell you to leave Washington, D.C. because the world is complex and gorgeous and yours. And then when you come back, it will have a sweetness that today I almost don't have words for. I want to tell you to speak up even when you're afraid, and even if you don't know it on the spot, know that someone is always listening. I want to tell you to vanquish the paralyzing power of fear, because no one ever actually died of fright. And you'll ask more of yourself if you run toward fear. I want to tell you to always keep people older than you and younger than you in your intimate life. Therein lies wisdom, therein lies joy. I want to tell you, share half of your sandwich because you always have enough. Never ever hoard resources of any kind. I want to tell you to read more books than you can possibly stuff in your head because there's so much in need of understanding and analysis and repair in this world that you need to be even smarter than you are today, and this is a lifelong quest. I want to tell you to make your beds every morning because it is important, like the animals we are, to tidy our nests as we move forward into the day, and as the human beings we are, to never expect other people to do for us what we should do for ourselves. I want to tell you that cynicism is quite different from critical intelligence. The former is corrosive, the latter enables you to ask questions. I want to tell you to harness the critical intelligence that can allow you to see how to improve your communities, even as you must see what they are lacking standing inside of them. And I want to tell you to always, always think about and bring into the room the voices and people who are not in the room with you. You are not in the room because you are the cleverest, though clever you are. You are in part in the rooms you will be in because of privilege. And it's your job to activate your privilege on behalf of a vision of community with the people who aren't in the room with you at any given moment. Bring someone with you. That is the basket of graduation wisdom. But what I really want to talk to you about today is dreams. When I sat where you sat, what did I know? At graduation, I knew most powerfully that I wanted the world and I wanted love. Their Eyes Are Watching God, the great novel by Zora Neale Hurston, begins famously, ships at a distance have every man's wish on board. She writes of how we look out at our lives ahead of us and imagine what awaits. Those wishes are big wishes that sail on the sea. From a distance, I saw things and saw who I imagined I might one day be. A dancer, an artist, God forbid a lawyer, an advocate or rabble-rouser of some sort, a star of stage and screen. I had wishes. I saw them ahead of me. But Hurston goes on in that great book to tell us how Janie surrenders herself to love and lived experience, how it shapes her. Janie has come back to the town she left, the front porch where all great stories are told in self-reflection and artfulness, to tell her life story to her sister friend Phoebe. This is who I am. This is where I have been. This is not the life of wishes sailing in great boats on the horizon, but of life actually lived, marked by the encompassing power of love. Romantic love, yes. Rapturous, divine, soul-stirring love that I wish for each of you graduates. Lots of it. But also love for the questing self in process. Love for justice seen at the level of how a young woman is treated in a marriage. Love for the communities she joins and tries to enrich. Love that is a force that radiates outward, even as it radiates from Janie's core. Hurston wrote Their Eyes in 6 weeks, following a broken heart. She lived intensely and met a juncture. Her life changed her, as life inevitably does, but then she reflected on it and on what it meant to let love be a motivating force for life. And so, propelled by the force of love, disappointed, Hurston wrote one of the greatest love stories you might ever read. Though the story of her love with tea cake came to a tragic conclusion in the book, you will remember, Hurston gave us a tale of how a young woman walked out into the world and away from her yard, lit luminous by the blossoming pear tree that signified fecundity and possibility and life force and whatever you might call God, and what I will call the mystery of spirituality that awakens in us as the Quakers understand in silence. Janie blossomed in that yard as I see you blossoming and so many young people before me, but she lived her life and had her adventures and then came home to tell of it. The same girl who listened to her grandmother describe the limitations she might face. Also a woman who had moved in the world beyond her riches and let herself have the capacity to grow larger with love and disappointment. My grandmother, Winona Bond Logan, a contemporary of Hurston's, was my dearest person when I was growing up. She was here at my high school graduation. I think about her when I think about dreams. She was born in Selma, Alabama in 1906. Her family moved to Birmingham and then to Washington, D.C. in the 19-teens. In D.C., she told me she used to roller skate to the Mount Vernon Place Library and sit on the steps of that segregated building and think about the books that were inside, in a place where she could not physically go. She would then skate further miles to the embassies and sit on the grand steps there, embassy after embassy. And she said to me, if I was on the steps of the library or the embassy, I knew the rest of the world was there. To be proximate to books, even if she could not go inside and read them. To be proximate to buildings that stood as symbols of elsewhere brought here, the world in Washington, D.C. That sparked her imagination. She made it enough. At Dunbar High School, a segregated school where she received an exquisite education and in her home, she liked to read about other places so she could imagine them, she told me. Most of her friends stayed forever in Washington, nothing wrong with that, but my grandmother's reading made her dream. Her girlfriends gathered at the train station and wept as they waved her off to storied points elsewhere and the hopes of further education, more books, more freedom. In the 1920s, she wrote to a school in Helsingør, Denmark, called the People's College. This is a true story. She wrote, I am what is known as an American Negro, and I imagine you have never known nor seen one. Will you invite me to come study at your school? Will you pay for me? This was one of my favorite of her stories. Why Denmark, I would ask her, entranced by her tales of smorgasbord, the puzzle ring she brought back from a suitor that one day became mine, and the sari she began to wear after making her first friend from India at the school. Because when I was a teenager, I read about the statue of the Little Mermaid being built in Copenhagen Harbor, and I thought it was beautiful, and I just wanted to see it for myself. That was her dream from segregated Washington, D.C., a dream of the world that animated all her days and was the light she shone on others. The end of Their Eyes Are Watching God seems apt here. Again, Hurston wrote with a broken heart, remade herself by the word, and took us to this beautiful conclusion, which is an image for you all today. Some of you probably know this. She pulled in her horizon like a great fish net, pulled it from around the waist of the world and draped it over her shoulder. So much of life in its meshes. She called in her soul to come and see. And that is what I hope for you today, no more, no less, all of it. So just to conclude, somewhere in a teenager's dream of love and the future were all of you graduates. Today also has special meaning for me because next week on Thursday I will sit and watch as my first child, Solomon, we call him Solo, graduates from high school in New York. So I'm intimately a part of the drama we are all in right now, graduation day. So permit me to be a proxy mama for all the parents here, to say to you graduates something of what I'm feeling and not just thinking, as a mom. I know what it means to dream of something before it comes, and then it comes, and the sheer life and love force of it changes your life forever. We didn't know your faces, but when you were born, we looked at you, and you were startlingly familiar. You were ours. You knew us, and we knew you. We then came to know you again through these years of your childhood with an intimacy that is unique. And now we will come to know you all over again as you go off and have your adventures and bring them back to us. How much your parents longed for you. We dreamed of you before you came. So now, from the space of remembered dreams, I can say that when I was your age, I dreamed I would have children, not able, of course, to picture how it might happen, but rather as a deep, wordless, spiritual understanding. And now you, like my solo, are about to continue your movements out of proximity and into your own pools of sunlight. We, your parents, who knew you and loved you before we knew you, loved you as best we could to this juncture. And now we open our hands with love and we watch you fly away. The force of love is a mighty thing, and the world can be fueled by it. You can be made anew by it. Let love push you out into this fascinating world beyond what you know and where you are comfortable. Let love be a teacher. Let love be a true force that you respect. Let love change you. And when you have it, share it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nicknaz Aberry. Oluwakemi Natalie Oluwade. Max Phillips Albert. Konstantin Nikitovich Berner. Samuel Addison Blazers. Georgi Borusevich Brevnov. Matthew Emery Edwin Brown. Octavio Thomas Brutman. Sophia Vermilia Sai. Micah Alexa Campbell Smith. Julian Margaret Cord. Abigail Castillo. William Henry Eugene Choi. Ifa Cody. Rafael Aviche Coman Fuentes. Kenneth Paul Coleman. Caitlin Nora Conrad. Tiana Miranda Destiny Daly. Maya Evelina Dion. Alexander Costel Dimeglio. Madeleine Kimberly Douglas. Solis Alexandra Doyle. Christopher George Dudley. Ravi Hans Urbek Malhotra. Walter Joseph Ellis V. Atessa Sergei Farzami. Moses Harrison Feldman. Maya Alicia Gonzalez Fitzpatrick. Alexandra Lenya Thompson Frazier. Logan Michael Freeman. Sydney Paige Warner. Isabel Morant Gibner. Jamie Elizabeth Glickman. Joshua Henry Goldberg. Adrienne Helen Goldstein. Alison Elisa Goldstein. Max Muscatine Bryan. Lyndon Sion Harris. Eleanor Eva Harvey. Anissa Hanson Gueye. David Richie Hauge. Theodore Wilson Hefter. James McDonald Hills. Elizabeth Mabel Holland. Jacob Stephen Horn. Penelope Colton Hoops. Ryder Bonds Hoops. Terence Jamal Horn. Carolina Inez Hatsiera. Molly Kennedy Orvin. Nathaniel Porter Jackson. Ethan Edmund Jaskioviak. Talha Gilani. Max Collins Johnson Fredden. Samuel Tran Cox. Emily Selma Kleinberg. Taylor Brooks Ned. Ethan Benito Larboite Corn. Nanki Kaur Kumar. Sophia Elena Loboda. Benjamin Michael Lee. Brittany Nicole Lesson. Laura Wendy Lewin. Tatiana Lynn Samuels Lewis. Jane Townsend Lipscomb. Alexander Corby Stevenson Littleton. Marwan Edmund Lloyd. Justin Collymore Loeb. Sven Ante Matthias Lambert. Emmanuel Lusso. Logan Edward Matthiason. Anna Catherine McLean. Jordan Oriana. Oh, sorry. Jordan Oriana Merlin Jones. Felisa Ruth Michael. Caroline Emily Monahan. Elizabeth Porter Mulani. Daniel Philip Muselis. Olivia Orr Nash. Julian Catherine Neher. Taylor Brady Knight. Charles Millwater O'Mara. Daniel Abicus O'Sullivan. Malia Ann Obama. Devin Palmer Olson. Erin Elizabeth Page. Peter Miller Parsons. Tyrone Victor Patterson III. Alexander Richard Pearson. Joshua Brennan Portnoy. Megan Philippa Powell. Susan Elizabeth Powell. Keelan Elizabeth Pork. Tessa Mary Reagan. Jamie Sarah Reader. Rebecca Campbell Ritchie. Samuel Jack Reynolds. Petra Anna Robertson. Jeffrey Joseph Samuel Ross. Mateo Guillermo Rueda. Anna Mart Rumor. Philip Michaud Sanchez. Ethan Brett Saper. Avery Joseph Schoenberger. Elijah Michaud Scott. Robel Matthew Selassie. Samuel Joseph Singer. Geridor Gopal Srinivasan. Gabriela Sabrina Stacia. Nicholas Andrew Suarez Boytel. Jack Lee Timor. Daniel Theodros. Bennett Fane Tierney. Mira Grace Tignor. Eliza Nicole Coben. John Victor Corcoran. Afia Saraboa Ajeman Tyus. Jacob Abraham Walker. Emma Walsh Orker. Dr. Bemis Ward. Benton Whitmore Weinberg. Raina Rose Weinstein. Kelly Clark Weymouth. Emily Catherine Wilson. Valentine Allegra Wilson. Jocelyn Shelby Wolf. John Young. Joshua William Ziller.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you the graduating class of 2016.